Hello guys and welcome to our next course, which is on JavaScript. Is your homeboy the headwoman dude, and I'm coming to you live now right now to teach you how to code JavaScript. If you like this video, if you're excited about this, if you're excited about learning all about JavaScript, smash the like button. Okay, now, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a high-level, dynamic, untyped, interpreted programming language suited to both functional and object-oriented programming. Now, what's a programming language? Basically, a programming language is instructions we want the computer to do. Now, before I start proper, a little disclaimer here. I'm not expecting you guys or all of you to actually understand the theories I'm going to be explaining right now, because they may not be totally necessary for your career as a web developer or maybe writing good JavaScript code, but I feel it is essential to understand the language, to have a deep understanding of the language if you really want to be a complete programmer. So I'm going to be explaining some theories, and I'm going to be moving even forward into the topic. So I don't expect, if this is your first time learning JavaScript, I 100% don't expect you to understand everything I'm going to say, okay? But along the line, as you keep up with the tutorial, I'm going to explain more and more of what that means. And if you are curious, you can also Google out the terms you don't need. There are a lot of online resources that explain the language itself of JavaScript. For practical guidance, it may not really be necessary to understand these things, but I feel, or my experience coding is, the more I understood the theories of the language, the more I was able to do with the practical, okay? So I am not someone that want to limit myself to just a short knowledge of something. All right, so if you understand, let's dive right in. Okay, so now we know what JavaScript is, and now we can tell you what JavaScript is. Let's call it a day, right? Class dismissed, wrap it up, X, okay? Well, of course not. What does all this mean? What is high level? What's dynamic? What's untyped and all this? So, we'll take it one at a time, okay? Let's start with what a programming language is. A programming language is a set or series of instructions we want the computer to do. For instance, let's say we want the computer to perform a specific action. Let's say, for instance, you want, when users visit your site, you want your web page to kind of fade in and have that cool effect. With JavaScript, you can create mobile applications, or you can make a robot with your JavaScript code. You can also give people a virtual experience just learning JavaScript. So there are a lot of applications to this language. It's not limited to the web browser, though we are focusing on front-end web development for this course, but JavaScript can be used for server-side programming language. So I will encourage you to learn the core of JavaScript while I'm teaching. Take note of the core. Seriously, it's very important. For web browsers, you can achieve cool effects like when a user clicks a button, you want a form to appear, and all those things are as a result of using a programming language like JavaScript. Now programming languages are not limited to web development. The softwares you use, the apps you use, all these things are as a result of programming languages. Your gaming app is as a result of instructions a programmer tells the system to do, to be able to have those actions, those effects, those movements and all that, those fighting and taekwondo, wacha, and kung fu. All those things are as a result of programming language. Your financial apps, every software you use is built with a programming language. So JavaScript is just one of these programming languages. There's Python, there's C#, there's Ruby. There are many programming languages. So the programming language is the system or the tool we use to write those instructions to the computer to be able to communicate what we want the computer to do. Cool, right? Very cool, right? Right. Okay, let's continue. All right. For starters, let's take high level. So When we say a language is high level, it means it's easy to write. You can easily write the language. You don't have to bother about memory management and registry. When we talk about untyped, it means you don't have to explicitly specify the data type of the variable when you are writing your variables or declaring your variables. And if this is your first time learning JavaScript, don't bug your head too much with this, okay? Don't bug your head too much with all the terms and the new terms and the explanations. It will become clearer as you proceed. This, I just have to explain this course. It's the definition of the language. As you proceed further and you come back and watch this video, you'll better be able to understand what I mean. So for functional and object-oriented programming, they just refer to a term called programming paradigm, which just simply means the style of programming. So, but you would get to find out later on that, but JavaScript is centered more on object-oriented programming. Okay, so that does it for the introduction to JavaScript. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and watch out for more hot content coming right off the bat.